about an
Banff
aggressive
National Park to experience backcountry in Banff National Park last week. A family member says they were gentle people who lived, worked, and played together.
Friday, September 29th, 2023. A couple hikers and their dog encountered a fateful situation no one in the backcountry ever wants to imagine. Jenny Gus and Doug Inglis, along with their dog, took life by the horns. Avid hikers and backcountry enjoyers, this couple set out on another deep adventure into the Banff wilderness of Alberta, Canada. Unaware of what was to come, this beautiful family was about to take their last adventure together. Jenny Gus and Doug Inglis set out from their home in Lethbridge, Alberta for a week-long camping and backpacking trip. With many prior adventures, this couple was experienced in the backcountry and outdoor treks. This time, the plan was a week-long camp and hike through Banff National Park, specifically the Red Deer Valley. Banff National Park is a Canadian treasure known for its serene beauty and abundance of wildlife. The town itself is a little resort location nestled in the Canadian Rockies. It's about 80 miles or 130 kilometers west of Calgary and lies along the Trans-Canada Highway. The town is part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a popular destination for both nature lovers and outdoor and adventure enthusiasts. The remoteness of the area that Doug and Jenny were setting off to cannot be understated. Banff itself is a small town, but Jenny and Doug left from the Yaha Tinda Ranch headed west into the park. The Yaha Tinda Ranch is located quite a bit north from the actual resort town of Banff itself. Not to fret though, Doug and Jenny took every precaution when it came to the outdoors, including having a bear-safe cache, a Garmin InReach satellite phone, and multiple cans of bear spray. Longtime friend of Jenny and Doug, Ron Tether, was quoted to say their skill level was extremely high, they were conservative, and they took every precaution they possibly could. Another friend, 69-year-old Mark Gottel, stated they knew exactly what they were doing. And he remembers Doug telling him that he would even go so far as to pee away from his tent to not let the scent attract any wildlife. He would tell me about all the safety precautions. Each day on their week-long adventure, the itinerary was fairly similar. They would pack up camp from the previous night, make their way to the new location while enjoying the nature's beauty and that of Banff National Park, and then they would make food, pack it back up in the bear-safe cache, and then get into the tent they had set up and slowly let the night drift by. Each day was like the last. They'd end their night sending off a pre-written InReach message to Doug's uncle and Jenny's mom saying that they've reached their destination, and they did. They did this all the way up until the next Friday night, Friday the 29th. Doug's uncle and Jenny's mom received another text message at 4:52 p.m. We're delayed, but everything's okay. The couple likely set up camp later than they would have liked, but just like all other nights, set up camp, made food, then secured the cache a ways off from the tent when they were finished. The weather in Banff National Park during the summer and early fall fluctuates heavily in temperature. On this week, it ranged from 29 degrees Celsius in high noon down to a cold 2 to 4 degrees at night. Once the campsite was secured and all the food was put away, Doug and Jenny would change into their night clothes and camp slippers to stay warm. They would let the night slowly drift by and would read in the tent as sun would fall beyond the trees. This is a key detail as it helps fill in some of the questions surrounding the incidents to occur. 8:15, Doug's uncle receives a call from Garmin. SOS, bear attack, bad. Garmin located the position of the SOS call on the GPS and scrambled a crew of park rangers to close in on that position. This took some time as the rangers were determining if they could fly in with a helicopter for a rescue or have to use all-terrain vehicles to get to the location. From those earlier autumn hues, the weather had shifted and they were unable to reach the site via helicopter. 10:31, the Rangers then mounted up and set off for location via ground vehicles. It took the Rangers between 4 and 5 hours to reach the site. Once the Rangers reached the site, they saw something flash in the woods. It was the bear-safe cache that Jenny and Doug had hung up earlier in the night. As the Rangers began to survey the area, they heard a rustling noise from the brush. A female grizzly came charging out of the brush, and the Rangers, with their already loaded weapons, took aim and fired upon the bear. The bear dropped about halfway between the brush and the Rangers' vehicles. The Rangers recount the female bear to look scraggly and underfed. They then set up a perimeter around the campsite to secure the location for an investigation. What they then found was horrifying. The tent was flattened. Jenny and Doug were outside with no shoes or slippers on, indicating that they may have been already in their sleeping bags. They also found 2 cans of empty bear spray, which means they were fighting for their lives. Jenny Gus and Doug Inglis, along with their dog, were all found deceased. Many debates have swirled online whether you should have a firearm in the wilderness to defend yourself or whether bear spray is an effective preventative measure itself. There was also talk about having the dog around and whether that is helpful or dangerous, especially in early October. Grizzly bears enter a phase called hyperphagia, where they eat excessively to build fat reserves for the winter for hibernation. They become more territorial and defensive as they look for complete food sources, making them more prone to aggressive behavior if disturbed. According to Parks Canada, there's over 20,000 grizzly bears in the whole of Canada, but on Banff Parks list, it's only numbered to have 65. Camping, hiking, and exploring is the crown jewel of this area in Canada. Sadly, once we humans step out of our concrete jungles, we're no longer king of the castle. No matter how experienced or prepared you are, some things can just be left in the hands of fate. Jenny and Doug lived fulfilled and vibrant lives that was cut short in the very same terrain they loved to spend the majority of their time. Hey guys, thanks for listening to my first story I've ever covered. If you want more content like this about wilderness mysteries, mishaps, and crazy scenarios, feel free to subscribe. I appreciate ya. And to everyone, stay safe out there. We'll catch you next time on Wild Enigmas.